Hey everybody, it's Chris Guns. Welcome back to Pro MMA Insider Radio. And today is the 3rd year anniversary of the death of Arturo Gatti. Maybe one of the greatest warriors, maybe the greatest warrior in the history of the sport. He gave so many exciting moments, and anybody who ever saw him fight will not forget that night. All the countless wars he was in, all the highlight reel knockouts. People called him the human highlight reel. They called him the most exciting TV fighter of all time. They said he was the guy with the most heart. They said he had the best left hook. They said he was the toughest. They said he didn't have enough discipline. They said he partied too much. They said he was a hellraiser. And Arturo Gatti was all those things. And he did it while always being a cool guy and a nice guy and a guy that people like to be around and talk to. And something tells me Arturo is going to be a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And let's see what some of those in the boxing world have to say 3 years after Arturo Gatti. Harold Letterman, it's been 3 years since Arturo Gatti's passing. What do you remember most about Arturo, Harold?
What everybody remembers most about him, his excitement. I mean, the guy would fight through pain. If his hand was broken, he'd just keep on coming. Always gave the fans their money's worth. He was a terrific fighter. He was a great guy, and we all miss him.
And when was the first time you saw Arturo fight?
Oh, when he first fought for main events, whatever that was, early on in his career.
And when did you realize that this kid was something special?
Well, you knew that from the first time you saw him. I mean, he was so exciting. He never stopped fighting. Always gave the fans their money's worth, and he was just a dynamite performer.
And everyone has a fight that left the biggest mark on them. What was that fight for you?
Probably, I guess the first Mickey Ward fight. I mean, it was just exciting beyond belief.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight. It's you could name almost any fight that he had. He turned any fight into a major heart attack waiting to happen. But what makes him remembered and loved in the eyes of the boxing public so much?
What made people remember me? Wanted to know.
Yeah.
Well, as they say, he always gave people what they came to see. I mean, he was the one guy that if you paid to see a great fight, you were going to see a great fight, and that's all there was to it. Win or lose, he was always in great fights.
How'd you hear about his passing, Harold?
I don't know whether it was on the radio or on television. It was all over the place, and it was just so tragic.
Yeah. What went through your mind when you first heard the news?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. Just total disbelief.
Yeah. So, do you think he's the most exciting fighter of all time?
Certainly one of. I mean, I couldn't tell you who the most exciting fighter was. I mean, I loved Eugene Cyclone Hart from Philadelphia. But Arturo Gatti was one of the most exciting fighters I ever saw.
Would you put him in the Hall of Fame? Think he belongs there?
Would I? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too.
He may not have had the greatest record in the world, but, for what he did and what he gave the fans, definitely.
The always affable Harold Letterman. Appreciate your time, Harold.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Take care. Teron Millette, it's been 3 years since Arturo Gatti's passing. You fought him. What do you remember about your fight with Arturo?
Well, basically, I knew it was going to be a tough fight. I prepared for him as best I could. Not to take anything away from him. My doctor gave me something I shouldn't have had. But he did the job he should. He did a damn good job. I give him all props.
Yeah, and at some point in the fight, he connected with a left hook. I'm sure was his most powerful punch. Everyone says. What happened when you felt that power for the first time? Was it recognizable? Was it surprising at all?
Like I said, not to take anything from him in the way I was that day. Every punch, his jab, everything hurt to the 10th power.
Yeah.
He threw a jab, a fake, and just all of it was hurt.
Yeah. What do you think makes him so beloved and remembered in the eyes of the boxing public?
Well, as a person, and I really did know him, just seeing him from time to time, he seemed like a real humble person, and he wasn't about running his mouth and talking trash. Very respectful.
Yeah. How'd you hear about his death? You remember what you were doing?
I want to say it was on the news, and it shocked me. I called a couple of people, and they confirmed it, and I was like, "Whoa!" And he wasn't that old.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know when your time's coming, you know.
You don't.
Yeah. Would you say he's the most exciting fighter of all time that you ever in your lifetime?
But I wouldn't say the most exciting. No, I wouldn't. I think Shambe Mitchell will be that person for me. As far as exciting, because he being a left-hander, he did what he was supposed to do, and it was in a extremely fast fashion. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Shambe did his thing. Definitely excited a lot of people who watch him fight. Do you think Arturo belongs in the Hall of Fame?
I do, because he's fought some of the best.
Yeah.
I really do.
Never ducked anybody.
No, he didn't.
And when you think back to your fight with Arturo, what do you think of the what stands out basically most in your mind?
I wish I could have moved more.
yeah. At least duck from the last punch, you know.
Yeah,
prolonged.
Exactly.
I appreciate it, Teron.
I mean, he was devoted. From what I know of him, and meet him that day and before we fought, he seemed like a pretty humble, pretty loyal person.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Teron. Appreciate it.
No problem. That's all good.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, it's been 3 years since the death of Arturo Gatti. What do you remember most about Arturo?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I met Arturo when him and his brother Joe first came to the United States. I met them in Jersey City. We had a mutual friend, Mario Costa, who owned a few apartment buildings and a few restaurants in the Jersey City area, and they migrated to Mario. Mario took care of Arturo and his brother Joe, real good. And Arturo was the type of guy that loved to have fun. I mean, we would go hang out at the automobile shows in New York City. Me, Arturo, his brother, his manager, and just have a good time. I never drank or smoked. That wasn't my situation.
Yeah.
But we would just go out and have a real good time and just hang out. And, until the wee hours in the morning, the car show was already closed, but we still was hanging out. Mario had a nice restaurant. A lot of good people hung in the restaurant, and we just became real friends. Real good friends. We supported him when he fought. And that was like almost the end of my career. So he came to a few of my fights. And we just, got real cool with each other.
Yeah. When was the first time you saw Arturo actually fight, and what'd you think?
It's been a while, but it had to be in Atlantic City when I first saw him fight. But I see him in the gym because Mario also had a private gym in Jersey City on Tonelli Avenue, a very busy intersection. When you drive down Tonelli Avenue, you can't help but see the gym because it has all kinds of different posters all outside, and inside it's a real nice gym. And we all trained over there for a while.
Yeah.
And like I said, I saw him fight first in Atlantic City. I don't know who it was, but he was in one of those nuts and guts, knockdown, drag-out fights. But he managed to get up and knock the guy out, and that made his career right there.
Yeah. When did you realize that Arturo was something special? Maybe.
When I found out that he can punch, because the fight is never over until the actual fight is over or the referee counts 10. That was Arturo's situation. You know, he thought the same way. I can be knocked down 10 or 11 times, but it's not over until the bell rings to end the fight. And Arturo could end the fight at any time. At any given time, he had that left hook that'll knock you into another zip code.
Yeah. Yes, he did. And everyone has a fight that left a indelible print in their mind when they think of Arturo Gatti. What fight was that for you?
Him and Tracy Patterson was a great fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great fight.
It was a great fight. And he had another fight, whereas I think he was fighting for the title or defending the title.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt eye, blacked. You know, then it's just a whole lot of fights. He fought some non-title fights with a couple other guys that, you know, again, both eyes puffed up. You know, but he finally landed that left hook equalizer that took care of everything.
Yeah. What do you think makes him so remembered in the eyes of the boxing public?
Because he gave the fans 110% of what boxing was all about. The trilogies with Mickey Ward. I mean, he brought boxing back from the old age, you know, to the forefront.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and you know, he was real good for boxing. He was good for boxing because, like I said, he gave the people 110% of what he had. He give it all and more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time out. How'd you hear about his death?
I got a call from Buddy McGirt. You know, and I just saw Arturo a couple of years before he passed away. We were at Buddy's mother's house in Long Island, in Brentwood, Long Island. We had a cookout. I think it was on the 4th of July. And we had a cookout. So, you know, I came in, and Arturo was there. You know, again, we had a good time talking about old times. You know, because Arturo, I think he had one more fight left in him, but he was contemplating retirement also. And we would, you know, again, we talked about the good old times, how we used to hang out at the car shows and just hang out and have a good time. We would hang out all day, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just had a great time that day. That's the only time, you know, and the last time I saw him, and we had a great time. Because, you know, like I said, every time we see each other, we always talk about the times when we first met. You know, at that point in my career, I was still world champion. And he told me that he was going to be world champion. You know, I can tell you the exact place where we met, right on Tonelli Avenue, you know, in Jersey City, in the diner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we would go over there, and Mario Costa, he was the owner of 2 restaurants. So we would go over there. We had our own seats in the back. All the, you know, fighters that Mario knew, we had our private seats in the back. And we just hung out and talk trash. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
He's a fun guy to be around.
Oh, man, he was a fun guy. Crazy. Crazy. You know, I still miss him to this day. I still can't believe, you know, about his death. But he was just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's all I hear. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I don't think he had an enemy. Because he was just a fun guy. Just a fun guy.
Would you say he's the most exciting fighter of all time, or who would you say is just as good as Arturo? No one could be better than Arturo as far as excitement.
As far as drama, he stands alone. As far as drama, and you can knock him down a few times. But you know, at the end of the day, it's not over till it's over.
Would you say he belongs in the Hall of Fame, Eddie?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, his sellout shows in Atlantic City alone. I mean, sell out. He would sell the joint out. I mean, if he was still fighting today, he would sell Atlantic City out like he always does. You know, he gave it his all in all. He was a world champion, and he belonged to the Hall of Fame. Not like some guys that don't belong in the Hall of Fame. He belonged in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with you, Eddie. Always generous. Thanks for your time, Eddie. Appreciate it.
Got it, baby. My man.
And there you have it. One of the greatest judges and TV personalities, Harold Letterman, former champion and ex-opponent, Teron Millette, and former light heavyweight champion, great trainer, and one of Arturo Gatti's very good friends in the sport, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. All three guys knew Arturo on different levels, but all had a ton of respect for him, and nobody had a bad word to say about him. And anytime you talk about Arturo Gatti, usually you see that same pattern. Not a bad word to say about the guy. Arturo Thunder Gatti, forever champion and always going to be missed. Rest in peace, champ. And thanks for the memories.